Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tommaso here. In this video, I'm going to be answering some of your questions on my mewing experience and what I did to change my face in 8 months. Alright, so let's get into the questions you guys have asked me. So, alright, do you have any general tips, like things you realized you were doing wrong and fixing it? Did you chew teeth together? Uh, yeah, I did sleep on my side as well as on my back. Um, and with a pillow too. Um, and yeah, the thing I was doing wrong is at one point I was pressing. I wasn't pressing like the very root of my tongue against my throat. I was just pressing the middle part and the front part of my tongue against the roof of my mouth. So make sure you're pressing the uh, the root of the tongue against your throat, and from the root all the way to the front, all against that palate. Yeah, and another mistake I actually made was I was pushing my tongue against my front teeth. So my tongue were pushing my front teeth, but actually the tongue shouldn't really be touching the front teeth. It should be right behind the front teeth, not really touching. So that was another mistake I made. And then the next question, did you have any breathing problems the first time you mewed? Yeah, yeah, at first, when I was trying to push that root against the back of my throat, against the back of my palate, I had trouble breathing, but eventually I learned how to breathe while doing that by practice and repetitions of pushing that back of your tongue against the back of your palate, or actually against the throat. So just by practicing, I was eventually able to breathe. Uh, yeah. The next question, did you do chin tucking while mewing? That's us, yeah. Um, yeah, in the beginning, I focused on having perfect tongue placement and perfect pressure against my palate and good posture. So straight back, straight neck and stuff. So I wasn't like trying to chin tuck the actual exercise, but I was doing something very similar to chin tucking, which was good posture, uh, which is the same thing, I guess. But yeah, I wasn't like doing chin tucking. But yeah, it's a good exercise to do. I recently started chin tucking, and it helps you get that root of the tongue against the palate. It really helps in that. That's why chin tucking is a good thing to do. But yeah, I didn't like necessarily do chin tucking, but I just focused on good posture, like this. So I mean, it's similar to chin tucking, I guess. Same thing. Yeah. What's the right way to do it? The end sound. Yeah. John Yu recommended that a good exercise to get that tongue, the whole surface area of the tongue up against the whole surface area of the palate, is to do that and really trying to get that whole surface of the tongue to press against the whole surface of your palate and the back of the tongue too. But yeah, another good exercise, I guess, is to say the word sing, and the G at the end, you keep that position with the tongue, the G, the sing, the part of the sing word. I think Astro Sky was the one who might have invented that exercise. I'm not sure, but I guess that's a good exercise too, to get that tongue engaged, the root of the tongue engaged. Okay, the next question. What was the first change that you noticed during your journey? Uh, did you also lose body fat? Okay, yeah, the very first thing I noticed was that my cheekbones started to rise, I think, and I guess my palate expanded too. Uh, but then the cheekbones kind of stopped uh, since the very first stage, and I guess they very slowly progressed after the first few months of mewing. Uh, and yeah, the other first thing was the palate expanding. Do I hold on? Because my retainer doesn't fit me anymore, which I used to wear because I used to have braces and then I had a retainer. So when I started mewing, I stopped using my retainer, and after actually only a few months, it didn't fit me anymore. The retainer was too small for my palate. My palate had expanded. My teeth arc had widened. which is pretty cool.
I actually went to get it for you guys. So this is my the retainer I used to wear, and it's too small for my palate right now. I was pushing my retainer up, and it didn't go up. Like you would hear the click when I was pushing it. So yeah, it doesn't. It's too small for me.
Yeah, and then the body fat. At first, I think it was like higher, and then it went down, and then 5 months into mewing, higher again. Uh, and now it's like in the middle, I think. So yeah, I have some pictures of when I was even lower body fat percentage than right now, before I started mewing, and my face structure like still looked shit, like worse than now, and I have high body fat percentage now. So, all right, the next question is about retainers, and he's had orthodontic treatment, and he is wondering whether to risk it and get rid of the retainers and start mewing or not. If you start mewing, then don't wear retainers. It's actually bad for you because the retainers push your teeth back to where they were, and the mewing pushes your teeth more outwards. So it's like your teeth are wobbling back and forth. So that's actually not good for your teeth if you mew and wear retainers at the same time. So yeah, definitely don't do that. So you either stick to mewing, you mew and go hardcore with it, and rely on your tongue to keep your teeth straight, which I recommend doing because the tongue is a natural way that keeps your teeth straight, not retainers. And retainers are not permanent, and the tongue is. So yeah. This next question: can you get mewing results with braces? Uh, well, no, the braces are going to be doing the results, not the tongue. I mean, you can do mewing while you have braces, like practicing good tongue posture and getting that tongue to stick onto your palate. But the tongue's not going to be pushing any teeth forwards or moving anything. That's for sure. So yeah, no, you can't get results from the tongue while you have braces. No. For how long did you mew for? Well, the very first few days, about 4 hours, because my palate was so small and I'd never done this before, so I wasn't really able to work on it for more than 4 hours per day for the first few 2-3 days. But pretty much the first week, starting from the first week, I started trying to have the tongue up on the palate all hours of the day. I worked really hard. I didn't do anything else. I just had that tongue onto the palate, and I was working on getting it there and keeping it there. It was hard work, very hard work, and tiring too. And I was just trying to keep it up there for as long as possible, straight away from the first week. So yeah, don't slack off and say, okay, 3 hours a day for the first month, and then I'll increase it to 5 hours a day the second month. No, just as soon as possible, try and get it onto that palate. All hours of the day. That's the only way to make changes, and the only way for sure to make changes fast. That's for sure. Did you chew Falim gum? Yeah, I chew Falim gum. Um, it's not the best, but that's what I chew. Alright guys, I'm going to answer the rest of the questions right now. So, yeah, the tongue does burn when you start mewing, but it's just like the tongue is just like any other muscle. You need to train it, so you need to push it up and it'll get stronger and stronger, and it'll stop burning after a while of training it. Tongue's just like any other muscle in the body. Are my results attainable for other people? Yeah, obviously. I mean, we're all the same species, so obviously they are. Yeah, when your tongue's pressing up against the palate, it should be as wide as possible. So pushing outwards, pushing your teeth arc outwards, covering as much surface area of the palate as possible. In the beginning, you might have to make it thinner just to get it to fit there, but over time, try and get it to be wider and wider, the tongue.
Using your fingers to pull your palate. That's a horrible idea. Don't do that. It's temporary, so once you take the fingers off, the palate will move right back to where it was in the beginning. So it's just pointless. It's absolutely pointless. The tongue is a thing that's there permanently all hours a day, and that's what's going to make your palate move, not your fingers. The fingers are temporary. So yeah, guys, those were all the questions, and let's transform our phases.